How is it going?
From last time we talked, everything is good, even better. Some good news also in everyone's life.
You want to share?
I'm going to become an auntie soon.
Yay!
When this episode is published, the baby will be already here with us.
Oh my God. We dedicate this episode.
Dedicating episode to my little nephew. Hi, baby.
Oh, that's so cute. You, Mirna?
It's quiet in the lab. It's summer. People are away. I love it. But also, I finished the lessons in chemistry book that my mom recommended passionately. And I was wrong because it's not a romance novel. It's really about women in science and how they were treated in the 50s. So you should read it. I got emotional at certain points.
Okay. Also thought it's a romance.
There is a small part of a romance, but that's not the main point at all.
My summer read.
We are all putting it in our reading list.
And what about you?
I am all occupied by moving. But you're right. Summer is the best time to do experiment. No one is around. The lab is yours. You can do all you want. I love it.
Well, you're talking about this quiet lab during the summer, but in the UK, master students actually do the project during summertime. So my student will submit 20th of August.
How did it go?
Most of the things are already written, but the discussion and conclusion needs to still be added. I'm very proud of her. She's doing amazing.
That's cute. How much you put into revising your master students' drafts? How is your approach?
I usually go through the whole text that is written. I don't change a lot of text at the beginning. I just fix the grammar. And then I give lots of comments on how something should be written, just giving some advices what can be included. And then I'm waiting the second revision. In the second revision, I give way more input, but I don't rewrite everything. I don't want this to be my thesis. This is their thesis. So
I also don't like rewriting sentences or taking the whole text over. No way. It's not my thesis, like you said. During the whole project, I like to talk to them how this fits in the thesis, like trying to make a story already from the beginning. And I recommend how I would do it. But if they choose another way, then I will not change it. I support their story, but of course, give advice how to improve it, make it more clear. But I do put a lot of effort with the comments.
they need guidance. It's nice. I would just think about myself when I was doing masters and writing a thesis and how much it means when someone gives you lots of input.
Dependent based on the student, I will say in the beginning before they write already how the story should come, and already in the lab, this is what we are doing, this is what we are building. So in the beginning, I will give feedback on the story, and then I will come in the next ones, how it's written and such. It takes time, but I actually like it. So then for all of us, it is a bit slow summer times, also productive maybe in the lab, and more of chill personal life times.
Work-wise, very busy. I have 3 screens at work, and one of them is post-it notes.
Like digital or real?
Real ones on my screen.
On top of a screen.
Mirna, we are millennial. What digital post-its are we
Yeah,
talking about?
I would not know how to do that. I got a gift from my mom when I was in Croatia. I got a mouse pad that has all the keyboard shortcuts written.
This is so good.
And it was so ugly that I didn't want to take it. But then I thought, you know what? I should learn from this. So I'm studying this mouse pad now.
We should do a test. Pick one that you think no one knows, and let's see if we know.
Okay. Control U.
Underline.
Control H.
Highlight.
No, it's replace.
Replace. Wow.
Replace. This is likely from Temu, so it might be wrong. I don't know. Control K. Okay, I think we already proven that it's not going so well for us.
No.
Yeah, what is K?
Insert hyperlink. Okay, anyway, back to your 3 screens.
It's not like, oh, it's so busy or whatever. It's just that I want to do all my tasks before I go on holiday on 24th.
Will you do it all?
I think so. There are many things that can go wrong, but I think I can manage. Overall, I'm happy, I'm busy, and looking forward for our Croatian trip number 2.
So life is good. Conclusion of the catch-up. So we have been circling different corners of academia these past few episodes, and we 3 come from different backgrounds and we took different paths to be where we are right now. And the reason that we are here and talking everything now out loud is because we are okay to be honest about it and we are okay to discuss it. We are okay to dissect it. What we noticed also in the last episode is that how we are in a bubble. So today, that's what we will do. We will step a bit outside of the bubble and we will dissect this strange world of academia that we are in and to try to see what are we doing here. To start, what do you answer when someone asks you what you do? But this someone is, for example, is your aunt or is a taxi driver or someone you just met at a party. What do you answer?
Of course, depends on the person and on the setting where they ask me. If I'm on a party, I would just be, I'm a researcher. But if they really ask me, what do you do? Then it will be, what I do is exposome studies, which means looking into totality of environmental exposures throughout your life and how they affect your health. It can be many types of exposures, but we are looking into chemical exposures. I'm analyzing the therapies that are taken for cystic fibrosis, one of the chronic diseases that are taken by mothers and breastfeeding mothers. And we see the effect on their baby's health as well. On top of that, we are looking into environmental exposures. So many things that are in environment that we get to expose every day and how that affects our body and how that affects our babies. And if it's part of the pregnant woman, how it affects also development of a fetus. Is that too scientific or is it kind of like they can follow up?
Perfect elevator pitch. That is good. I never get into details. If it's more of young generation, I will say I'm a postdoc. If it's more on the older generation, I will say I'm a researcher. I am more of a silent, like in the background of what I do. I will not bring it up unless it's really asked. I'm never gonna pitch my project. Mirna, what do you say? Do you also go into the details about your project?
Definitely not. No, I really don't talk about it because I know I don't work on something that's related to your health or something that you would know. It's very niche. Normally, I just say I'm a biologist and I keep it there. But if I want to be respected or if I need something, I say I work at the university because it sounds like, wow, you're a serious person. When I was applying for my apartment to rent it now, that's what I said. And the woman chose me because she thought that I'm a teacher at the university. In other situations, there's no reason to get into the diatoms.
But so if someone tells you, but what do you do in your research?
What I work on is fundamental. So then I have to give it some application. So I say I'm developing a method to discover new genes in diatoms in order to, and then I have to give it some to produce more nutrients for human health or to produce more oil for biofuels. You always need to give it some reason why these people would care about it.
Mm-hmm. That's why now when I'm working on research connected to human health, people are way more interested in what I'm saying then, because then it's relevant. I'm talking about development of a fetus or of a baby or something that can affect your health or baby's health. Then you're like, okay, what is it? What chemicals? Where? Because we are all surrounded by it. But when I was doing my PhD, if I talk about LCMS and the columns and the column chromatography and
it kills a party conversation. Like if you go to an academic bubble event thing and then you have these people that you ask them, what do you do? And then they take it seriously and they go on a 10-minute rant about their project.
Mirna, you end up asking someone, some organic chemist, like, and what is your project about? And then they go 10 minutes.
And I don't know how to get out of a conversation. I'm a really good listener. I will actually learn about organic chemistry.
Maximum I will say will be I work on genetic diseases with frogs.
It's a hook.
For you, I would really mention the eye disease. So pitch it now.
Okay, so I work on genetic diseases, especially specialize in inherited retinal diseases. So although the technology of sequencing and such is quite developed, still 30 to 40% of patients remains without molecular diagnosis. So these patients don't know why they are losing their vision or there are some other genetic diseases or okay, I have this, but I don't know. And what this is called is missing heritability. It has many consequences like genetic odyssey. Then you don't know for the genetic counseling if you want to, for example, have babies, or even for the correct treatment approach. So it is very important to know the cause of your disease. And most of these missing heritability lies on the non-coding part of the genome, which was called junk DNA back in time. So these regions are actually what makes us us, and they're responsible of controlling how, when, and where your genome is transcribed. And I work on those regions to identify and characterize them to associate them the disease and development.
Woo!
So stay tuned. We have episodes that are coming that will be based on our research topics, and we will interview each other's, which I'm very excited to hear about your projects in detail as well. After these pitches, we hope that you're interested and come back for those episodes. Let's start by getting into this bubble, how we communicate, how we live day to day in this academic bubble. Are there any words or saying that are ruined for you because of how we use it in academia? For me, interesting is definitely, this word is ruined for me. So it's not actually interesting. Do you have any examples for that?
I don't like word novelty. Sure, it's novelty. It just ruined it for me. It doesn't sound novel enough.
It's the buzzword. I have it as well in my papers.
It has to be. But just say it's approach. I know it's new if you're publishing it.
I don't like the thank you for your question. That's an interesting question.
That is true. Or thanking the reviewer too. Thank you for this valuable input. We hate you. In fact, we are offended.
Have you ever been a reviewer too?
No.
I've been once, yes. It was not publishable. I didn't need it to be harsh. I just said what I thought I should say, and that was it. I'm a young researcher. It's different a bit. We take a bit more care how we write something and not just very fast. So I was gentle.
Gentle rejector.
The gentle rejector.
I think I use a lot of amazing. So whatever something is done also by my student or in the lab, I just said, amazing, good. We need to order this. Okay, good, amazing. This didn't work out. Amazing.
Amazing. Anything else?
Trajectory.
Groundbreaking.
Preliminary. What preliminary? You didn't do the work until the end. Shut up.
So if we come to the emotions, we are human, as we like to state in every episode. We are human.
We are not
We're
dancers.
not AI, okay?
You always say AI, I always say dancers.
Well, our feelings are attached to the things that we spend most of our time in the lab with our colleagues. How much are your feelings involved in academia, or how much your mood is attached to your experiments?
Less and less with time. At the beginning, it was too much, but if it stayed that way, I would not be here right now for sure. So I had to tone it down. But still, sometimes, especially if it's a good thing, but that also we need to learn to control. I cannot have a great weekend just because on Friday I got great data. I believe in being balanced, but being emotional enough to have motivation and to enjoy it, but not let it affect your mood. But it's a work in progress for all of us, I think.
People are affected by good things as well as bad things. And you bring that emotion home, but related to data or something that worked or didn't work experimentally. If it's something very important that had a deadline and it didn't work out, then maybe I would be a bit frustrated, but I would not let it affect my whole mood. I would think about everything.
I am more like Mirna as well. Positive things affect me more than negative things. I am mostly controlling the negative impact, but that is for more technical things. If it's more of a social interaction, that I think about it a lot, unfortunately.
Indeed, if it's just experimental stuff, something in the lab, yes, it affects me, but in a normal way, I will move on with it. It's fine. But indeed, if it's something, problems with colleagues, that will keep me more up at night. Not so much. I fell asleep anyway, but.
But let's be honest, it feels selfish when a colleague takes over the whole mood of the group because something in their work in the lab is not working well. I am not here at work to get your frustration because your experiment failed. As much as we are more relaxed, flexible because we're in academia, okay, it's more of sometimes can be chill environment. This is still a professional work environment.
When something happened that failed experiment, I made it as complaining in a fun way, just making it as a fun experience for everyone as well there, not as if like now everyone is picking up my mood. It's more like I'm gonna cry, but I'm gonna cry to make you laugh about my failed experiment. It's completely different approach.
But it can also be too much if you do it the whole time, which I see sometimes. And I think, get the diary. Why do we need to hear about every single experiment that failed?
Write it in your lab book.
That's why it's there. If I talk about something failing, it's because I want us to find a solution, so it's productive. You're not here to listen to my life problems. Have boundaries with colleagues.
We should have a system. Like you look at your colleague and you're like, you have 1 minute. Tell me. And you start, like, go.
I mean, I'm not saying that colleagues cannot complain to the colleagues. It's completely normal.
I get more affected by people that always think something negatively in general in the lab. Like whatever someone did, like something was not done. There was a task that maybe someone forgot about it. It's always pointing fingers and always having a problem with people doing something in a lab. Chill.
Yes.
Say what you need to say. It doesn't have to be such a, negativity around everything. We're just working as well here.
It's often passive aggressive with this kind of things. And then it brings a bad mood on everybody, even the people that are not involved at all.
People need to know how to protect their peace and not to let these people infiltrate your cleansed aura.
If someone is passive aggressive, my answer is active aggressive.
This doesn't work in Belgium, unfortunately. I tried, and it always hits you back in the face. But it's hard when you can. This is the way that I would want to manage. I want to address it and talk about it. But in some environments, it doesn't work. So if anybody has tips on what to do, I'm listening.
The money. We've touched upon how we were writing projects and such before. We, in fact, find our own salaries. We have to write grants or apply for fellowships to find our next salary of 2 years. And then when 1 year passes, you already need to start thinking what will pay my salary in 2029. Or let's say you fix that, then wait, I'm here. How do I do the research? It doesn't fall from sky. How do we find money?
Grants. And if you're lucky, you're in a rich lab and you don't have to think for every single thing.
I've never been in a rich lab.
But yes, you need to be applying for grants. Can be fellowship, or also you can apply for projects, can be smaller things. And if you have a good idea, they can fund it. There are grants for new techniques. So you can request to get funding, for example, for new equipment or a new technique to develop in your group.
Also, you can apply for grants only for consumables, because even when you get some fellowship, you paid with that mostly your salary. And then you have allocated money for the research, which is mostly not enough. Equipment costs a lot, maintenance costs a lot, biological samples, or I don't know, what is very expensive in your lab, for example?
Like flasks for cell cultures, filters, like these basic plastic things that you just use and throw away. It's so expensive.
Or if it's a facility at your workplace, sometimes even to use a microscopy, and hourly you need to pay, your group has to pay it.
For us, the maintenance of the instruments can cost 10 to 20,000 per year as well. Then repairment, if you need to call maintenance, if you don't have a contract, it can cost a couple of €1,000. This consumable things, for example, box of gloves is like £6.
Or cell culture work, the organoid work. I mean, the media, so let's say the food, the environment of these cells and such, they're expensive. And to do any experiments with them, anything that includes sequencing is also expensive, from library prep kits to the sequencing itself. General consumables, the falcon tubes, the appendors, and these things you need a lot of them. And you need to think about them. And the more you go in your career, the more you have to think about this.
I have a very nice example of what I did recently. What you said, like nutrients for the medium for cell cultures. There's one that we normally use, and then it comes to 1 liter of medium costing like between 3 and 4 euros. And then I found that there's an off-brand nutrients, and then it's like 10 cents
What?
per liter medium, because 1 liter of medium, that's nothing. We go through tens of liters a day with all the cultures we have. So I think I saved my lab a lot of money.
Mirna, this is budgeting at its best.
One thing that I forgot to mention that cost a lot and it's my work related are standards. Buying standards costs so much. If you need to buy standards of metabolites, they can cost thousands of euros.
In terms of when people do something in the lab that can affect other person's lab, don't forget you cost me 6 months of my salary also. Our time is money. Our ideas are money. Let's not forget about that. It is such a thin line of this communication. As we always say, the key is the communication and common sense.
Kind of part of the work as well, unfortunately, but I hope it happens less and less. I hope it doesn't happen to you anymore, Burcu.
This is personal.
I feel seen. So let's shift then the gears to a bit the unwritten rules, to the social and human relationship part of it, including the politics that we keep touch upon. Recently, I've been hearing from my young colleagues about the pressure of publishing. What are your thoughts on this kind of people around you, who you collaborate, their way of looking at research?
It's such a turnoff for me when people think just in terms of publications. I don't like that this is the only thing that's motivating you, because are you looking for the objective truth or are you looking for something to publish?
Not gonna give details, but we have recently heard, indeed, then maybe this pushes people to move things around and cherry pick data and or burnout. I don't know. This can really have many consequences.
I'm not personally so much pressured, because for my field, there is not such high expectations, because we know it takes a lot of time to get something done in order to be published. So I think more my colleagues that work with Arabidopsis and plants, I think they feel more pressure, especially working at such an institution that has a reputation. Having something high impact, a good story, takes time to build.
Indeed.
So I think we should more prioritize this than having a lot of things, because where's the quality then?
I'm trying to understand the other side of fast publishing or quantity over quality, what we are talking about now. If you're waiting for something to be high quality, for example, in my research, it might be already published in quantity type of research. If you want to have more holistic approach, you would take way more time. Or you can have bits of those research published in a many different journals that are still good, but then there is not, for example, science paper. If you're not publishing it now, you're going to publish in 3 years because you're waiting for everything to happen in order to make a holistic approach. You're going to have someone else doing it.
You never finish a paper faster than hearing that somebody else is working on something similar, then it's on bioRxiv tomorrow.
There are people exposed to this pressure of generating the quote-unquote publishable data. This, for me, it's like gives me goosebumps, not in a good way. We are, I hope, in this to do the research, and because we're interested, because we're passionate about it, because we believe in the cause. It's really not okay.
Agree. I always liked more professors that are like more quiet but loving science in general than the sharks, the stars. Yeah, if they're doing amazing research, also great, you're gonna follow them. But if they're just stars by the fact of what we are talking about, then I'm not impressed.
What I think is really wrong, that we expect PhDs to generate publishable data. This is not the point of PhD, to work as a lab technician to generate data. It's PhD student, doctor of philosophy, whatever the title is. We should learn how to do research, how to think. It should be much more focused on that, but it seems like often it's only about the lab work and generating data. That's wrong.
That also comes from a pressure of building your CV so good that you can later on apply for fundings. If not you staying in academia, your PI will apply. Publishing data is helping your group to get more money.
It's so corporate. There's too much. We are a huge business. Academia is a huge business corporation.
This is the reality. Unfortunately, all the sugar coat that we've been talking about, maybe loving research and science, so there is this part of it that there is pressure. You can be in a relatively nicer environment, but I think you always have the instinct to make something publishable and publish, or authorship games, the game of who's gonna be the first name, second name, because recently Master 1 students, so they just finished their bachelor, asked me, how does this work? Who's first name, who's second name, and who's third name? What is this?
That should be discussed at the beginning and stick with that only if it changes on the way that someone does certain work more. You can discuss it immediately. That person was involved in this and this and this. I'm going to put him as a second author. That's it. I think it should be very transparent. You should give author credits very clearly and no hard feelings.
I think it's not good to promise something at first, because I've seen many situations that somebody's promised something to be the second author and somebody else does 100 times more work than them, and then they don't get put in front. So I think you can have like an idea at first, but at the end you should stop and look who did what, like make literally a list to be objective and then make the order. There is no who is my favorite or who I promised something. It should be based on the contribution.
Of course, first author can see that clearly.
They're playing games too.
Yeah, it's not always in the hands of first author also. We know that. As Mirna said, things can change around. And I will tell a story that I witnessed. One day I was in the resto and I heard this guy talking and I could feel he was trying to explain himself. He was telling to the people in his table how he ended up suddenly being a second name out of nothing. He said, we were just thinking what to do and then we decided to do it based on the surnames, and I'm so lucky my surname is with the B, so I'm a second author. I didn't even do so much. It felt very sinister and calculated. These things can really be manipulated.
I have advice for those people. Go Google author credits and write yourself everything down what you did, and then realistically check if you should be second author. That's it. Even now with one of the papers that some things are changing, I'm saying loud and clear, this person did this amount of things. It's gonna be second.
That should be how it is. It's so straightforward, actually. It's so common sense. So I hope people can stand their ground and not let their ideas and intellectual properties taken away from them.
Many people miss integrity and they cannot place themselves somewhere where they belong as well. Have a bit of checkup with yourself and integrity with the research and then come back.
That's exactly what I think. I went to a workshop, research integrity, whatever, and people could come and bring up their personal situations. And I could not believe how everybody is talking about, I did this, me. It was all about me, never saying the whole complete situation. Open your eyes and try to be objective. Of course, don't let yourself be taken advantage of, but sometimes I think we misjudge how much we actually did.
I could be an advocate for this. I hate it.
This is triggering.
Yeah, I'm in a fight mode.
We're sweating here.
Should we actually solve these problems? Can this be like a legal thing?
If you have a problem with your authorship, contact us. We will help.
We will tell you if you should be second author. Most probably not.
It feels like a zoo to me sometimes, especially
A zoo.
I really would like to watch this kind of animalistic behavior in academia.
How much you pay for the ticket?
It's for free. Animalistic instinct behaviors of surviving the politics or trying to be the predator of politics of academia, because there is one position, all this politics of it. Tell me, how do you stand your ground or your sanity in this zoo?
Well, I'm not competing in the zoo that I am. I'm very aware of that. So I also look at it like you, like this is a zoo and I cannot believe what are people doing. It's crazy. But I also then wonder how I would behave if I was sure I want this position and I need to do something about it. Of course, I think I have my integrity that I would not do insane things, but then I try to judge a bit less.
I feel like a zookeeper. Maybe it's a very boring answer, but I'm just trying to be who I am working on my version of myself and my version of my life and work life, and doing my best without needing to compete or to kick someone down in order to go higher. I would not lose integrity, as Mirna says. It's more valuable than kicking someone down in order to achieve something more.
I said before I'm not competitive, and it's true. I'm not a fighter, like I will fight for this position. If it's not for me, then I will not anymore be in academia. That's it. I'm not going to desperately do everything, change myself to get a position.
Well, sometimes I even feel called to be involved, even when it's not related to me, which who am I? I should just mind my own business. But if I see a colleague that is being taken advantage or whatever, I directly want to protect them.
Same for me. It bothers me more when somebody else is taking advantage than me. Who are we to do something? This is the job of the PI, but they're too busy, too many people. So what's the solution?
It's all to say that it's not just science. It's not just research. It's many things in it, and all the things that we kind of put it silent. We don't really give so much voice to all these things we talk. We normalize them. Someone is trying to get the authorship. Okay, gonna handle it. Someone is trying to step on this. Normal. Why are all these things normal?
At the end, everything comes down to personality of people. So we can have all the common sense that I like to call uncommon sense that people will just not follow because of their personality. That's why it's very important to hire people also based on their personality, not just paper count.
We've touched upon different parts of academia, not all, of course, just some things to discuss and dissect. And after everything that we talked about, I want to ask you, why are we still here in academia?
I would like to become a professor. I value a lot teaching and knowledge transfer. So why I'm doing this is because I feel like I did had some privilege to do all of this, feeling that it will be just arrogant not to share what I learned.
I like that, at least in my case, I have the freedom to explore some new ideas. I can learn new things. I have some flexibility. Maybe I can find that somewhere else as well, but I don't know. And I don't know if I want to stay in it or not. But that's also the part of exploring. I'm there to see, is it for me? What can I contribute?
And you?
I love doing the science, the research. I like coming up with an idea and solving something. This can be a patient case, this can be a story that I come up with something. And I would like to have my own group, having students doing those ideas and they come with their own thing. It's something I want to do. We're all different. So let's say someone fresh out of their master's. They are 22-year-old. Now that we also have the podcast, we have younger people listening to us and they're asking you good and the bad and the ugly. Should they come into this?
In an early stage, you just need to be interested in science, interested in doing research. Take it from there. Everything else, staying in academia, comes later after you finish your PhD, understanding if this is something for you or not. Because I think most of the things you learn, the good and the ugly, during your PhD. But of course, it's not necessary that someone who is a very good researcher as well, staying in academia, you can still do research in companies. You can do postdocs in companies. Some companies also offer industrial postdocs.
Then you kind of leave the question of should you do a PhD? I would say if you're curious and you're self-motivated and resilient, if you answer no to any of this, go home because you will be bothering your colleagues crying every day. And if you don't know if this is for you, then of course do a PhD so you can get to know the environment. You see with the experience, do you like it or not? And I don't like this idea that only the people that are sure that they want to be professors or they know exactly what they want to do, that they're the only ones that should be here. There's place for everybody and everybody will contribute something different to the knowledge.
Absolutely. I didn't know I want to stay in academia when I started my PhD. I started because I was curious and I really liked research. So later on, decided to write another project and stay for a postdoc. As Mirna said, if you're curious about the environment in general, and if you're curious curious about the research, just do it. If the idea of it exists somewhere in your brain that you would like it, just do it. You can always quit.
Indeed, I think during your master's thesis, you already have kind of an idea of how it is to conduct a research. If you think this is something you like pursuing, it is a good idea to go into the PhD to have more independent experience without your safety nets and experience it for yourself. I think being proactive is also very important. Passive PhDs are also, I believe, destined to suffer.
But if you really wish to be paid very well, don't come to academia.
This was us for this week. If you are an academic and you were happy that we finally talk about other side of the things here and you felt seen, we're happy. Let us know what is your experience. We are Burcu, Ardiana, and Mirna, and this is Do Whatever. This is Do Whatever.
Again.
This is Do Whatever.
Again.
I cannot do it. This is Do.
Should I say?
Yes. Woo! Woo!